everyone. This is Build Series, and I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. Today, I'm chatting with Shamier Anderson, who is known for his roles in Winona Earp and in The Destroyer. Now you can see him in Season 3 of the Amazon series Goliath, where he plays not one, but two characters. He's going to join us out here in a second to talk about it, but first, check out the trailer from Goliath.
You're a lawyer. You're good at it. It's what you do.
I'm not your guy, honey. I'm glad you reconsidered this case. The fall broke her neck. They drill all around here, sucking up the water right and left. My wife is dead. Someone has to be responsible.
Real sorry for your loss, Gene.
That's Wade Blackwood, Young's Tallgrass Farms.
Big farm, right?
The biggest.
Lawyers poking around. He asked the right questions. This is gonna be a big problem.
Why drag this all out? We're both tired.
Oh, I can go all night.
Well, if you feel that way about it, I guess I'm just gonna have to settle up.
We are going up against the biggest law firms in the state, representing one of the wealthiest men in the country.
You have 2 weeks to find something. Well, I'll have no choice but to rule in favor of the defense.
You privatized a public resource for your own financial gain.
All perfectly legal.
I think we should let a jury decide if what is legal.
Nothing's gonna stop us.
Just be careful. Nothing here is what it seems.
How worried do I need to be about you?
No more than usual.
So confident.
Put your hands together for Shamier Anderson. Can I just say we are bringing the color blocking today? The pink and Kelly green.
The melanin's popping.
Right? We got to like brighten up this like weird, dark, windy fall day or whatever.
Oh, I know. It's gloomy outside right now.
How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Happy to be here on this stage. I've never been on this show before and excited to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I've been seeing you working, so that's probably why you haven't been here. You've just been out there.
I've been working a lot.
Which is good, which is a blessing. First, I want to talk about the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
Because I saw a picture with you and Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Oh, yeah. That's me and Meryl Streep. You can tell right there I'm blushing on my cheek. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm actually blushing. Black men do blush. But I was a part of this incredible program at the festival called the TIFF Rising Stars Program, which essentially taps like 8 individuals from different parts of the world, Australia, England, and I was representing Canada, simply saying I'm like next up to be, a star. And so in this incredible program, we get to do workshops, meet filmmakers, other actors, do labs. And you just go to red carpet events and just really immerse yourself into the TIFF experience from both sides. And this is one of the cool things that I got to do was present Meryl Streep with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the TIFF Tribute Gala. And I'm telling you this, like I was on stage, you can't see, but you can kind of tell right here. That's Gary Oldman, right? And next to my other side, I was standing beside Zorro, AKA Antonio Banderas. And I didn't really care. I was like, Meryl Streep's right here, and I'm just gonna keep smiling. She gave me a hug and a kiss, and I was just
she gave you a kiss. There's a video on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you got a kiss from Meryl Streep.
I did get a kiss from Meryl Streep, and I haven't washed my lips since. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
It looked like TIFF was really big for you this year. You mentioned the Rising Star recognition, which is huge, meaning they're recognizing that, you're making some moves in the industry.
Yes.
How does that feel to be recognized in that way?
I mean, 10 years ago, I was working at Laser Quest, in my hometown. And then, fast forward now to be starring in movies and TV shows and working with some incredible legends, to be able to come back home in Toronto and be a rising star. I also premiered a film there called Endings Beginnings that I worked with opposite Shailene Woodley, Sebastian Stan, Jamie Dornan. I mean, it feels like I'm in a dream, to be honest. I just went to theater school, I graduated, and then I got an agent and started working, and I'll get to meet these people that I used to watch when I was a kid.
And to do it on your home turf, right? You're from Canada. You're from Toronto.
I'm from Toronto. I get to
Yeah.
go back home and it's like a moment, you know what I mean? My mom is there and my Jamaican family, you know, we come in packs. So every show that we're at, every premiere, you know, my publicists know we need 20 plus tickets at all times because it's a family affair every time we step out. Because my brother, who's also an actor, Stefan James, he premiered If Beale Street Can Talk last year along with Amazon's Homecoming, and he got nominated for a Golden Globe. So when we get to go back home, I mean, the city lights up.
What does that feel to have your brother on this ride with you? Stefan James, he also had a really big year. I mean,
Yes.
If Beale Street Could Talk was an amazing film, and Homecoming got
Yeah.
so much recognition. You're working with Winona Earp and you're on Goliath. Like,
Yeah.
what does that feel to have a brother who can like relate and understand this path that you guys are on?
It's the best thing you can ask for in this business. I mean, trust is so important. You know, there's unconditional love, so it doesn't matter with all the lights and the glam and the glitz. I mean, we see each other for each other. And so it's really nice that I can FaceTime him and talk to him and hang out with him and have like real honest moments. So like this year we got to go to the Oscars, right? And like I've never been to the Oscars. And like I'm from Toronto. I used to watch the Oscars. And so my brother and I were sitting next to each other. Guillermo del Toro's behind us. You got like Tina Fey over there. You got like Spike Lee over there. We're just like, yo, what is this? What is going on right now? You know? And so we were just like tripping. And to be able to have like your family member next to you, a part of that process is like, it's so rich and it's magical, you know, and he's an actor as well and he's doing incredible work. And we brought our mama to the Golden Globes this year, which was really, really cool to be able to bring her to that experience. I mean, she was a single mom, immigrant from Jamaica that raised 3 boys on her own. And we got to give her, you know, essentially everything she's done for us and show us that, you know, show her that your work has paid off. And so it's a blessing. It really is.
That is so special. Who got into acting first? Who kind of like blazed the trail?
It was actually me. I started like the conventional way, like acting classes. I went to theater school, 4 years of drama focus and musical theater. I actually graduated the class before Nina Dobrev. She's from Vampire Diaries.
It's coming in next week, I think.
No way. Yeah. So shout out to Nina. So she's from the same high school, so we're the same performing arts program. And Lamar Johnson, who's in The Hate You Give, he went to my theater program as well. So I started that. And then Stefan wasn't in it. He was a basketball player, you know, and like rapper and like just kind of figure himself out. My mom's like, he needs a part-time job. And I'm like, he's a good-looking kid. Maybe you should try acting. Never did an acting class. He got an agent and then like booked Selma, which was like with Ava DuVernay and Oprah like FaceTiming him, and he flew in, did the movie, and then right after that he played Jesse Owens in Race, which was crazy. We both actually starred in that together, which was a cool moment.
What was your first big project? The moment where you were like, okay, I can do this. I'm doing this.
I mean, as a Canadian, you do the gambit. So like I did the Degrassi's, you know, Rookie Blue, Saving Hope, you know, all the local stuff. But I'd actually booked a job that really changed the landscape of my careers when it never came out, unfortunately, but it was a film called City of Lies. It was with Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker. And I did a self-tape in Toronto in my basement. A self-tape is just like an audition. You got to shoot on the camera with somebody reading for you. And I did it, and then I got a call that the director wanted to meet me. So I was like, all right, cool. So they flew me in to LA. I met the director, and then I got the job. And shout out to Brad Furman because he really believed in me and, you know, didn't have to give me the job, but apparently I did great work. He saw the work that I did, and I did it. We filmed the movie. It was about like the Biggie Tupac story. Unfortunately, the film didn't come out, but the trailer's online still, so you can peep the
Seen
trailer.
the trailer. We were actually talking about that movie last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool to know you were a part of it.
Yeah, I looked very different. I was bald. Like I played a cholo, like just like a Compton like undercover gangster cop. Like it was it wasn't a happy Canadian boy. Let's just say that.
He wasn't earnest.
No, it was
Spoken
an
Indian.
apologetic. Sorry.
So now let's move on to Goliath. This is such a big cast. This
Yeah.
season is huge. So what was your process of getting these scripts and auditioning? What was that like for you?
I actually last year around this time, I think I auditioned for the show. And I read the script, and Billy Bob, man, I call him Sling Blade when we work together. I'm like, yo, Sling Blade. He just laughs. He's super cool. And I got the script, and I'm like, I would love to be a part of something like this. So I went through the conventional process of auditioning, self-taping, and then I got the job. Larry Trilling, our showrunner, director, and writer, called me, FaceTimed me, and wanted to have a conversation. And so we spoke for about an hour and a bit, and he told me he really was a fan of the work that I've been doing over the years, and he gave me the job. And I got to go to LA. We filmed in LA, Santa Clarita for the most part for a few months. And it was incredible because the characters that I play are twins. You know, a lot of people don't know that. You'll probably see it in the 3rd episode. I play 2 people. One of them is deaf, so to learn sign language. So that was a whole entire process. And the other one is like an earnest, happy-go-lucky, clean-cut type of guy. But for me, the process, I really wanted to differentiate the two. So I really, used a lot of my acting work, Alexander technique to really understand the transformation physically of these 2 individuals so that when you see them on screen, you can see that they're different. And it's so funny because like on set, people were reintroducing themselves to me when I was the other character. And I'm like, no, it's still me. It's still me.
Physically, what are the differences between the two?
So, yeah, physically, so Anton, he's like very clean cut. He's upright, clean hairline, sharp hairline, dressed to the nines. And Dario is more quiet, more introverted. He's deaf. His hair is unkempt. I actually gave him a cleft lip, so he looks very different in that sense. Pudgier. I gave him like a little bit of a belly, like more hunched over. So you'll be able to see it when you can watch it now. It's available now. And even some of the editors, I remember coming up on set going, some of the associates didn't even know that you were the same guy. And they're like, yeah, who's the other actor? And like, that's the biggest compliment, to be able to really, I guess, convince people that I was 2 different individuals. I mean, 2 different actors, I should say. But no, it was me. And as for like the technical aspect for people that don't know, essentially we got to film every single thing as the one character. Then we stop, we lock the cameras, meaning everything stays where it's at, and then we run. I run to my dressing room, get changed really, really quickly, come back, and then I shoot the entire scene again as the other person. So my stand-in, who was incredible, he literally had to learn both sides and both dialogues and understand both sides, including sign language, just so we can do the scene together. It was an undertaking. Yeah.
That's intense. Did you get paid double?
Nah, that's a common question. No, I did not get paid double. But maybe I should. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Let's talk about the sign language. Did you know any sign language before this role?
No. I actually, I wasn't. I know deaf family members or friends, so that wasn't something that was in my circle or my community, my direct somebody that I was dealing with. But it was so cool and just humbling for me to really be exposed and understand that community a lot more. And it was really important because I had a responsibility, to really understand. And I did a lot of research. I worked with my incredible dialect coaches, which was Natasha and Sharon. They were so incredible. These 2 amazing Black women that really helped me and educated me and gave me a thorough understanding and a human understanding of the deaf community. And I got to do and understand and meet people and just learn so much about that. And it was a very, very, very informative process for me, and it really opened up my mind a lot.
What degree of understanding do you have now with sign language? Is it something that you just learned sort of your lines, or are you kind of more, can you understand if you see it?
So, I mean, at the time, I was like, I kind of let it go a little bit, but I wouldn't say I was fluent, but I was pretty good. And it's a lot, and I had a short period of time. So I did as much work as I could in the short period of time. And, we'll see when it comes out, but they were by my side every step of the way. And I really give all the credit to them because they really, really, really helped me and protected me in this process to make sure that I was authentic and I was respectful, because we have to be, for this community. It's really important. And to be a Black man playing a deaf person on screen is something we don't see very often. So just to be of service to that was a blessing in itself. So I'm just really looking forward to what the world thinks of that, and seeing my work on screen, because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't
Why
seen
not?
it. I don't know.
It's streaming now on Amazon.
I know. I should go on Amazon and watch it. We had a premiere here actually at Tribeca, so I saw the pilot, which I'm not in. I'm in just a little bit, very end, and then there's a 2nd episode, 3rd episode. But at that point, I just kind of go and look away.
Is that hard for you to watch yourself on screen?
This one's, a little bit, just because I've never played anything like this before. So it's just, and I'm playing somebody who's very like, excited. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to my hotel tonight and like just watch it with a hoodie on and just be like,
What can you tell us about the storyline of your characters? Is there a reason there are two of you? Like, does that kind of play into?
Yeah, I mean, not to give away too much, but I'm in the storyline of essentially Billy's coming into a town to investigate, and I work for the Blackwood Almond Company, which is the almond company factory that makes almonds, and my mother is Amy Brenneman, and who plays Diana, and my uncle is Dennis Quaid, which is Wade Blackwood, and Dennis, who I love because I'm, from the generation of the Parent Trap, so I got to see the man in the flesh, and I was really excited, but we go on this incredible journey of the corruption within this community and how these two young men, played by myself, cope, deal with, are influenced, manipulated by their parents, through this entire process. And you get to see young people, children, essentially enable their parents, in all the stuff that's going on. And you see this entire arc of once you meet them at the beginning to then when the stakes get extremely high to the point where they start buckling and falling and breaking in emotions. I mean, you're gonna be on a wild, wild ride throughout this entire season.
The whole show is a pretty wild ride. I mean, first it's beautiful, but there's like this surreal aspect to it, and I mean, it is
Yeah.
something you have to be really locked into and pay attention to.
100%.
Fun to watch. You just mentioned three wildly iconic actors.
Yes.
That you have scene time with.
Yes.
Screen time with.
Yes.
What was that like for you? What was that experience like? What did you learn from these performers?
I arguably was probably the youngest actor on set. So, alongside Billy Bob Thornton, Amy Brenneman, Dennis Quaid, Bo Bridges, Graham Greene. I mean, it was a rich cast. And I'm a silent observer, and I like to sit back, even when I'm not in the scenes, and just watch. And this man here, Billy Bob Thornton, is a legend through and through, and one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. I mean, cool as ice. I mean, when he speaks, everybody listens. Just from a practical standpoint, I was really able to see the best artists at work. I mean, I had a triangle scene with myself, Dennis Quaid, and Billy Bob. And man, those guys are quick. Then you got to keep up, so you got to be present, available, and ready once you're in that ring to go off script, but then bring it right back. And I think that's the craft and the skill set that people underestimate, when you're acting opposite individuals like this, is that they're just so present. And so I was able to really learn and understand the craft and refining even more. But the one, or if not, the biggest lesson I took away was just kindness. These individuals are so legends. They're such legends and they're such icons, and they don't even see themselves as that. They just are still playing in the ring and having a great time. And Amy Brenneman, who's such an incredible mom on screen and off screen. She had texted me. She's like, "Did you get enough water? Did you sleep?" So they're very sweet. And Billy, I mean, he's invited me out to his concerts. Like we text, and he's like, "Shamier, anything you need, you call me. Okay, Shamier, make sure you call me, and I really mean it. You call me." I'm like, "All right, BBT, I got you."
Do you do your Billy Bob voice in front of Billy Bob?
I don't do my Billy Bob voice in front of Billy Bob. I mean, that's Sling Blade. I call him Sling Blade though when I see him. Like, "Hey, what's up, Sling Blade?" He's like, "Hello, Shamier. How you doing? Good to see you."
And you mentioned your Parent Trap love. I mean,
Yes.
God, that's an iconic movie. Did you have like a geek out moment with Dennis Quaid?
Of course. Are you kidding me? Like, I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I still have geek out moments all the time. Like, this doesn't get old to me. Like, this is crazy to be here in New York City, and I'm from Toronto working with these people. And like, I definitely am professional though. Like, I'm not like, "Can I get an autograph or picture?" In front of them. When I go on my trailer, I just go, I just have that moment. I call my friends and my family, and it's really cool. And I hope that feeling doesn't wear off, because I really am a fan of everybody. But they're also my peers and my colleagues, and I understand that as well. I understand the work that needs to be done. But I definitely, I still get the butterflies when I show up to work every day.
And
Yeah.
I mean, when you show up to a set like this, I think we would all get
course.
butterflies.
Of
It's such a
course.
big show, such a big cast, such a great show.
Yes.
But you also have other projects in the works.
I do.
know that you have a film, Awake,
Yes.
that I saw is coming out next year.
Yes. So I just wrapped a film for Netflix called Awake, opposite Gina Rodriguez. Some of you may know her from Jane the Virgin. So we did this film, which I got to film at home in Toronto, which is amazing, and brought me back to Toronto for the first time in a few years. And so I was able to work on this incredible film with her, Ariana Greenblatt, Lucius Hoyos, and the director is Mark Rasso. And I mean, it's funny because I actually met Gina Rodriguez at the Golden Globes this year for 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, can I get a selfie? Like, big fan. She's like, yeah, for sure. She's with her husband. And then fast forward, like this year, like a few months later, I'm working opposite her, which is like mad. And so we have this cool photo of like our photo from the Golden Globes and then us taking a photo with the photo of the photo. It was a whole thing, but she is amazing. We got to have a good time. Went to like Cirque du Soleil in Toronto. I brought her to like Drake's concert. You know, shout out to Drake. You know, and it was just an experience to be able to work with her. And she is such a leader and such a boss, like a real boss.
I love that you could go back into Toronto and shoot that because, you know, I feel like we don't see a lot of black actors coming out of Canada and we're seeing more and more. And I know you and your brother are actually working to help like improve that and like
Yes.
build that community with
Yes.
an event that you do at the film festival,
Yes.
which I thought was really dope. So can you just talk about that for a second?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah. So Canada, Stefan and I growing up in the business in Toronto and Canada, it was really hard to find people that look like us. You know, we have incredible artists that come out of that city all the time. I mean, Jim Carrey is one of our favorites, James Cameron, Mike Myers. I mean, the list goes on. But there wasn't anybody really of color. You know, Sandra Oh was like probably the closest that we got. And so as we're growing in this business and as we're becoming decorated actors and getting our flight time, Stefan and I thought it was important to create something. I mean, I'm 28, he's 25. You know, at the time we created, it's like 4 years ago, so we're still like figuring it out. And we created this thing called BLACK, which is an acronym for Building a Legacy in Acting, Cinema, and Knowledge. And we've officially become a not-for-profit this year, which is super cool, you know. Thank you, thank you. And essentially what it's about, it's there to bridge the gap between Canada and the US and really honor, shed light, and foster talent from Canada and use our platform to provide resources to young people who want to pursue the arts. You know, it's something in Toronto, and we have great infrastructures for basketball and sports and, you know, for music, but it's very rare, like you said, where you see black, you know, men and women come out kind of as actors. And so we created this thing. It happened 4 years ago. It was a party at first, and then it started growing. And these past 2 years, we actually partnered with TIFF. And so now we're an official event partner with the Toronto International Film Festival. We celebrate with the festival. We celebrated this past year on the rooftop. You know, we had incredible people come out to support the Russo brothers, who, you know, are the Avengers producers. We had Shia LaBeouf come out. You know, it was incredible. And we're actually launching our first initiative, which is a monologue slam, which is a competition happening within the Toronto District School Board, where we're going to get a bunch of young people from inner city schools to be able to compete in a monologue slam. They get to go to the finals, and then the most important thing is they get adjudicated by my brother, myself, some other industry peers. But then the prizes are a full ride scholarship to acting school in Toronto, headshots, mentorship programs through our agencies and managers. They get to present at our award show, the Canadian Screen Awards, the following year. Get to come to the Black Ball. And essentially, the whole idea is, if we met my brother, for example, Stefan, 10 years ago, you look at him and be like, this guy maybe or may not have been you would never think he'd be a Golden Globe nominee, you know? And this past year, you know, that kid from that inner city school, from that inner city project, became a Golden Globe nominee. I'm one of those kids, and I'm working with Billy Bob Thornton. So it's just like anything is possible, and we really want to be a beacon of light for people at home and internationally. But, you know, we're from a place where this is not common. You know, I'm not, you know, there's not, I mean, Nina, as you're saying, Nina Dobrev's gonna be here soon. Like, you know, it's just, it's so cool to be from Canada doing this in such an incredible creative space. So we just want to keep fostering that and building that. And Black is something that we just want to keep celebrating and doing and initiating every single year.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes you don't know you can do something until you see it.
100%.
So I think the work that you and Stefan are doing is just so important. And
Thank
so
you.
That's why I wanted to just like recognize it. I'll be
Yeah, yeah.
following you guys.
Oh, I appreciate it. You got to come to the ball,
I
though.
will. Just
in
send me
September.
an invite.
Hey,
I will be
you're
there.
invited. This is
Okay,
your
you
invite.
guys heard it, right?
You're good.
Invited?
It's a hot ticket, though. I'm
That's
telling
what I'm
you.
saying.
It's
So
a
it's on
hot
tape. You said it.
ticket. It's
So when
on
I show up
tape,
at the door,
on record. You
I should
coming.
be on the list.
Hey, you're coming in with me. On record.
Aw,
You got it.
fantastic.
And Stefan.
We're gonna wear these colors too.
We'll get some, you know, we'll make it work. We're good. We're good.
We do have a couple questions before we get out
Yeah,
of here.
of course. What's up?
Who's first?
Hi. I was just wondering what the most memorable day on set was of Goliath.
The most memorable day on set of Goliath was, there were so many. Memorable day on set of Goliath. Let me see. I mean, it was bittersweet, probably the rap day, my last day. because I had spent 6 months working on the show, and I remember getting the call the first day and then finishing on that day was pretty bittersweet for me. Just because Billy had, we'd exchanged numbers at the time, and he, looked me in the eyes and said, "Hey man, anything you want, I'm here for you." And like, it was a really genuine moment. And I really, that was a lot for me because you don't meet a lot of people sometimes at that level who are so gracious and so kind and so giving. And he was giving in that moment. And when we wrapped and he said, "We're not done here. This is a lifetime relationship." So that was a really memorable moment. And he's a man of his word, and we talk all the time. Maybe I'll FaceTime him. I don't know.
That's so cool. Next
Thank you.
question.
Hi.
Hey.
I have a question from our site.
Yes.
If you could play someone living or dead in a biopic, who would it be and why?
It's a great question. Thank you. I'd love to play Guillaume Belford. He's the first black astronaut. He's currently living. His story hasn't been told yet, and I think it's an important story to tell. And he's somebody that I've been studying, and Guillaume Belford is one. I think he's important. And then the second one is Kimbo Slice. I think, I love martial arts. I think his story is very interesting. He had a very sad, moment to the end of his life, and I think that'd be a cool thing, as well, just to give you a difference. So Guillaume Belford and Kimbo Slice.
Two very different men.
Yeah.
Both
Two
really
different men.
impressive.
Impressive.
On that note, is there a genre of TV or film that you would be really excited to get into next?
Yeah. I mean, genre. I'll probably just open it up a bit and say like kind of filmmakers, because the genre world, I mean, it's just like everything is clashing together now. Everything is like everything, but I would love to get into Ava DuVernay's world. I've yet to work with her, and I think she did some incredible stuff with When They See Us. Really big fan of the Safdie brothers. They got Uncut Gems coming out with Adam Sandler, and that looks really, really interesting.
That was screened at the film festival.
Yeah, it was.
My
It
friend
was
there, and he said it was amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. And then I would love to get into like the DC, Warner Brothers, Marvel world, like Joker. I haven't seen it yet, but like I would love to be in like that world. I know they're redoing the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I'm saying I can be Robin. I'm just saying. It'd be an interesting choice, but yeah.
Something tells me you're going to do whatever you want to do.
I hope that's the goal. That's the
I
goal.
can see bright things in your future.
That's very kind. Thank you.
But right now we've got Goliath going on. So if you guys want to check it out, it's streaming now on Prime Video. Put your hands together for Shamier Anderson.
Thank you so much.